Not only is the highly anticipated sequel introducing one of the wildest Spider-Man characters of all time, but it also looks like Miles is gonna have to face an entire army of Spider-Men from all over the multiverse. Today, I'm gonna be breaking down a couple of theories for you that might just tell us what to expect in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Be warned, if any of these theories are accurate, Miles might be destined to face a gut-wrenching tragedy. It's clear that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is going to be about destiny and whether Miles is willing to accept his or not, despite the pain that might come with it. Now, for any plebeian out there that has never heard the typical Spider-Man origin story before, it's pretty clear-cut in terms of superhero backstories. In Peter Parker's case, he saw his Uncle Ben die right in front of him, and in some instances, like No Way Home, he even saw his Aunt May die. This has been done countless times in movies, TV shows, and comics. I mean, Uncle Ben is essentially the Thomas and Martha Wayne of the Spider-Verse, and because of how overdone this concept is for Spidey's origin, it's kind of become the character's fate or destiny to have their father figure or another close relative die to teach them the responsibilities of being a hero. While Miles did experience his own personal loss in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, some fans would argue that Peter Parker from his Earth isn't as crucial or impactful as an actual family member, which I guess Miles lost too when his Uncle Aaron, aka Prowler, was killed. But again, you could argue that his death wasn't as impactful simply because he was sort of estranged from the family and technically a villain. It still has me tearing up though, I can't lie about that. But because he hadn't lost a super close member of his family, some might say that Miles hadn't faced the same destiny, fate, or storyline that all the other Spideys had to face. That likely won't last long though, because Across the Spider-Verse seems like it's hell-bent on having Miles make a fate-changing decision that could have ramifications on the entire Spider-Verse. Now, exactly how the young Spider-Man is going to face what is guaranteed to be a heartbreaking challenge is the real question. But, as we said, we have a few solid theories for you, so check it out. Our first theory is actually about the beginning of the movie and the event that leads Miles into the Spider-Verse in the first place. While many fans who have seen the trailer and read the plot synopsis currently think that it has something to do with the Spot, they might be wrong. Well, half wrong, I guess. According to this theory, the real reason that Miles was banned from joining the super awesome looking Spider Club was because he altered or tried to alter the past to stop something horrible from happening. As you mentioned before, the entire concept for the most recent Across the Spider-Verse trailer was the fact that Spider-Man is a hero that's created from loss. For the most part, that loss has been their Uncle Ben, who would end up inspiring the Peter Parkers of the multiverse to be the hero that he always needed to be. And in some instances, the loss for Miles came when his father Jefferson Davis died. For anyone who played the 2018 Spider-Man game that was released by Sony, you'll remember that Officer Davis played a key role in that game. However, his sad storyline ended with his death, and as of right now, that's vastly different from what happened to Jefferson Davis in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. In this universe, Miles was lucky enough to see both of his parents survive, at least in the first movie, although he did lose his Uncle Aaron. Some fans theorize that it could be the death of Miles' father that caused him to potentially try to change the past and unintentionally damage the multiverse, which is obviously not okay with Miguel, aka Spider-Man 2099. You see, there's a really important scene in the trailer that shows Jefferson Davis hanging for his life by one hand, when all of a sudden, the plank of wood snaps and begins to fall. And even though the trailer doesn't show the outcome of the fall, there are really only two scenarios that could happen. Either Miles is going to swing in and save his father, or his father is going to become the equivalent of an Uncle Ben pancake. Too dark? It goes without saying that we hope this isn't the case, but sadly the trailer seems to imply that death is coming to the Morales family in some way or another. According to this theory, Miles is going to encounter the Spot relatively early in the movie, but at some point during their scuffle, Jefferson gets caught in the mix. That's when we'll see that scene in the trailer where Miles' dad is hanging for his life. This is when Miles is going to stop pursuing the Spot in order to save his father, without knowing that by allowing the villain to escape, he put the entire multiverse in danger. If the theory is accurate, then saving Jefferson is likely what leads up to the scene from the trailer where Peter B. Parker explaining that
if not for Uncle Ben, most of us wouldn't be here.
It's his way of trying to help Miles understand that sacrifice is a part of the process, and you can't risk the safety of multiple worlds to save one person. The theory continues by speculating that no matter how hard Miles tries, even if he saves Jefferson at the beginning of the movie, by the end of it, Officer Davis will most likely lose his life. This next theory for Across the Spider-Verse is very similar to the last one, in the sense that Miles must choose between his dad's life and the safety of the multiverse. Only in this case, the situation has changed a bit. Instead of saving Jefferson at the beginning of the movie, this theory suggests that the scene where Officer Davis seemed to be falling to his death is actually going to be placed more towards the end of the movie. Instead of Miles saving his father from the Spot and putting the multiverse at risk, the idea is that one of the many spider people that Miles meets somehow has information about the future. Because of that, Miles somehow learns that his father is going to be killed in an accident involving the Spot. apart, and of course, he wants to prevent that. However, as Miguel O'Hara likely explains to him in the movie, you can't alter the timeline. Whether it's the past or the future, it will mess too much up. This is likely when we will see Miguel freaking out about the other messed up universes, thanks to, as he puts it,
Doctor Strange and the little nerd back on Earth 1999.
According to this theory, he's explained to Miles why he can't possibly stop the spark from killing Officer Davis. That'll be too much at risk. Obviously though, if you've seen the trailer, you'll know that Miles doesn't accept being told to stay put, or the fact that he has to let someone die because it's for the greater good. Instead, he plans to do his own thing and save his father from a fate that almost every other Spidey father figure has faced in the history of the character: death. Now, this is where things get interesting. As the trailer implied by the way Miguel freaked out, he's got something else planned for the multiverse. It's unclear exactly what that is. It could be something to do with a tragedy that happened during his own timeline, or it could be related to his origin story in the comics that saw him addicted to Alchemax chemicals. No matter how you slice it though, Miguel is definitely going to be a formidable foe for Miles. It's just a matter of how they resolve their issues, if they can at all. Now, the real question that I think most people are having when it comes to Across the Spider-Verse is, will Miles be able to escape his fate or change his destiny? And by that, they mainly want to know if he's going to be confronted by another tear-jerking tragedy like when his Uncle Aaron was killed by Fisk in the first movie. As mentioned before, most people assume that Miles Morales is going to end up losing one of his parents, or at least coming close. But there are a few things in the most recent Across the Spider-Verse trailer that makes me think that he will be the one to break the chains of fate and not lose his father figure. First off, it's important to note that not every version of Miles Morales has seen Jefferson Davis die, which means that it's entirely possible for him to live in the end and still have the movie be comic book accurate. The next big sign that Miles is going to change his destiny is the fact that he himself says it. In arguably the most epic part of the trailer, Miles looks Miguel dead in the eye as he's being pressed by this dude that's way outside of his weight class and says,
Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Miles is tired of everyone telling him what he's supposed to do and represent as Spider-Man and how his life is supposed to be, and it looks like he's ready to fight like hell to make sure that he changes fate, and in this case, saves his dad from the same fate that befell countless Uncle Bens before him. What do you think though? Do any of these theories line up with what you expect to see in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Make sure you let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any Flixplain classics. Thanks for watching.